and it did lower revenue, while at the same time spending was being increased because of mostly on military spending on the Cold War, right? And again, that kind of comes down to ideology. Like, it also comes down to the question of like, what role did Reagan's military buildup play in the collapse of the Soviet Union? Was that a crucial factor, or would they have collapsed anyway?
Okay, because some people, I'll say myself, when I hear protectionism, I kind of reflectively kind of, that's
I'm a little... As an economist, I'm the same way. And I think most economists are like that.
Right.
But I think these days we're actually kind of the minority.
Okay.
I think this is like, it's weird how the view of protectionism has changed over time and how it's moved from being a left-wing thing to almost being a right-wing thing.
Right.
But it definitely, I think, has more support on both the left and right now. And things like the CHIPS Act and so on, they do definitely have elements of protectionism.
Right.
Likewise, notably, actually, Biden kept in place some of Trump's protectionist policies, tariffs and so on.
So are we better off kind of removing those, or is that just, like, I guess the technical way is, are we just becoming chumps, in terms of being you always hear the U.S. is being taken advantage of, and so we need to.
Yeah, that's not true.
China.
Well, so with China, the problem is the technology stealing, supposed technology stealing. Now, there's some of that definitely going on. At the same time, basically, these companies make a deal, right? The Chinese say, you come here, you set up your shop, you're going to give us access to your technology. Right. So it's not like anybody's getting fooled or they don't know what they're getting into. Right. It's kind of the price of operating in China. And honestly, countries have done that long before China. Japanese growth in the 60s and 70s was basically them backwards engineering a lot of American technology. It's just we're kind of more bothered by it when China does it. Right. Because they're kind of
Japan.
A rival.
And Japan didn't have this increasing military and aggressive posture that the Chinese are taking every day. Yeah. Well, Japan.
1950s. Yeah.
1950s. Oh, right.
But even
by the 80s, everybody was frightened. Yeah.
The big scare in the 80s was Japan.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, it was, and I, growing up in Michigan, they were out to kill us.
Was that movie with Gung Ho?
At the car company in the U.S. And I worked for a Japanese firm, Cow, and we were purchased by them, so we had like our own little mini Gung Ho all the time, trying to understand each other. Shift gears. As far as changes in the economy due to technology. So one thing is Bitcoin now is kind of like over $60,000. It's just had
it broke a new high, but then it crashed again, I thought.
Yeah, but it's up 50% for this year, and now Fidelity and some of these, they're kind of legitimizing crypto, and kind of what's an economic viewpoint as far as, I don't know if you call it alternative currency or I mean, where's that going? Or is that just a nice, easy way?
So a lot of it is just a straight up scam.
Thank you.
I mean, Dogecoin, all that stuff, like, it's basically just a form of gambling, right?
Right.
And you know what? Like, if you want to gamble, your business, I'm not going to judge you, but don't pretend you're doing investing, because it's not investing. Right. I think with a couple of the big ones like Bitcoin, Ethereum, there might be some economic justification for them. They're going to serve as an alternative means of payment. People have a preference of whether you use your debit card or use cash. Right. So we might, so in addition to that, you might also be paying Bitcoin. So I think there's some legitimate demand for those. But also, let's be honest, a lot of it is really about the underground economy and tax evasion and sketchy stuff on the web. Right. That's where a lot of the demand comes from.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, you got this huge amount of money sitting there that's all just speculative.
Yeah, and it just becomes that fear of missing out. Because
Yeah.
I mean, I literally every day see how much it's like in my news feed. They have a little thing with all the stock index, and then you can see,
Bitcoin,
the Bitcoin just keeps growing, and you think, should I invest? But I still don't have a clear concept on really what that currency is, so I just avoid it.
I think one way to put it is this way. If you're investing in the stock market, it is at least theoretically possible for all stocks to go up and for everybody to make money.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to happen just because the probability would be really close to zero, but it's not a zero-sum game, because what those stocks represent is the underlying productivity of the economies, of the companies that are being traded, right? But with crypto, it's a zero-sum game.
Right.
If somebody made 100,000, that means somebody lost 100,000.
Indeed.
So you can always find that person that, oh yeah, you make so much money.
Yeah.
But then you're gonna find the person who lost it. It's just the person who lost is not gonna go around bragging about it.
Right.
But the person who made the money is gonna tell all their friends.
Because what they do is anybody can make crypto. So you make your own crypto, and then you get Elon Musk to say, "We're going to the moon."
Right.
And everybody invests in it. And you're like, "Here's all that money. Give it
Well,
and then you cash out and leave it.
Nobody's got it.
Yeah.
There's one South American country, right?
El Salvador.
It's their official currency.
They adopted it, but now I think they kind of regret it. Well, now they might be liking it again.
Yeah, it's good.
It's sweet. Well, so first of all, El Salvador actually uses American dollar as its currency.
Right.
But they also tried adopting Bitcoin. But you want a stable currency.
Yeah.
For purpose of, because people are gonna need to buy groceries and just boring everyday stuff. You don't need something that's super volatile.
Well, with going to a stable currency, when I was taking econ, 100 years ago, I remember my professor just would go on and on about the mistakes we made moving away from the gold standard.
Really? Yeah. Most economists are anti-gold standard.
Right. Yeah. Well, my luck of the draw, I got this guy, because, what was, it was Bretton Woods, is that?
Bretton Woods,
yeah. So
the Bretton Woods system, which was mentioned in class, Jason.
Yeah.
So that was the system until 1973 when Nixon took us out of it. So that wasn't true gold standard. It was more like a gold-backed standard.
Right.
There was no convertibility for ordinary people and financial institutions. It was only designated entities that could trade dollars for gold. Right. Unlike the 19th century gold standard, where you could just walk into a bank and say, give me that gold. Yeah. So that was fully convertible. But Nixon took us out of Bretton Woods in 1973 because of gold outflows. He first tried price controls. He tried tariffs. It didn't work. And then he basically said, hey, it's not worth it.
Yeah. And then just moved on. Yeah.
So, Jason, what happens if you have a fixed exchange rate and free capital flows? What are you giving up?
You're giving up your own monitor.
There you go. It's the trilemma. Yeah, right. The trilemma.
There you have it.
Yeah. In 1973, the U.S. economy was heading for a recession.
Yeah.
Nixon probably had some selfish reasons too.
Right.
He kind of wanted to boost the economy before.
To get elected.
To get reelected. Yeah. He actually, this is a famous story among economists, how he tried to bully the chair of the Fed at the time, Arthur Burns. Arthur Burns. Into cutting interest rate right before the election.
Yeah.
To make it easier to win. And that probably played a part in his decision, but I think most economists today would say that was the right choice.
Yeah.
He might have made it for the wrong reason, but it was the right thing.
Hello, this is Pat Lynch, and thank you for listening to the Career Pathways podcast. Whether it's your first time or you've listened to a whole bunch, producer Jason, Gavin, and I, we're very appreciative that you've given us the time, and we hope you love it. If you want to check out some more, there's a video on the other side of the screen. I can't see it because I'm talking into a mic, but if you would, go over there. There's an icon there. You can click and subscribe, and then you'll be getting the Career Podcast feed daily. So again, thanks for your support. Thanks for listening, and look forward to a lot more great Career Pathways podcasts in the future. Take care.